I mean, there's only so many ways traditionally that you can handle a money objection. If somebody says this is too much, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can do all the standard closes that you read in old sales books and all that nonsense, right? But after a while, you're just like, let me spice things up. So you just start saying stuff just to see what will happen.
Just crazy stuff. Yeah.
And that's when the breakthroughs come in, right?
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing that kind of worked out? Like, do you remember a line?
I'll give you one more little interesting thing that we did here. And I don't ever see this very often these days. And I certainly would do it again if I wasn't so rich.
Yes.
I'm complacent in my old age now, but cart closed. I lived in Iowa at the time. Cart closed at midnight Pacific, which is 2 a.m. Central Time.
Mhm.
And we did a webinar up until cart close, the cart close webinar. So up until 2 a.m, with 1 second left, we were still selling the product on a webinar.
Wow.
And the product creators went to bed at like 9 o'clock that night, right? So, and every other affiliate did too. So what does that communicate to the customer? They are buying mostly because of how we're demonstrating that we're in their corner, less so by what we're actually saying on the webinar. But that whole cart close webinar concept is very valid and very powerful today. And I'm surprised vendors don't do that for their own products. Because if there's anything that you should ever stay up late for and sell to the last minute, it's that. But here's something that's not obvious, guys. And this is not obvious. I found this out by accident. But it is, you can do 4 and 5 hour webinars and be making sales on the 4th and 5th hour, even though you shouldn't be able to, right? I mean, what takes somebody 4 hours to decide to buy a product? I don't know. But when I started out, I was on this webinar and there was like 40 people left. I did the full presentation. I was done with my slides. I had nothing else to do, but these people were engaged and they were responding back to me and they were asking questions and they didn't want to end the webinar. So I was like, oh, okay, let me see what I can do. So I worked with them for another hour. And out of these 40 or 50-ish people, I got one sale at $500. And I did the math in my head. I'm like, okay, $500 an hour. That's good money for me. At that time, that was fabulous money for me. And there was still about 30 people left. And there was like 5 or 10 people talking and dialoguing and engaging. So I went another hour and I sold another person. And I'm like, okay, I mean, it's only an hour, but it's $500 per person. I just made $2,000 for 2 hours. And I'm on now hour number 4 of the webinar and they're still talking and chattering, right?
Jeez.
I'm like, wow, our ability to underestimate the appetites of our customers is marvelous. We are really good at underestimating how consumptuous our customers are. Now, here's what I didn't realize, guys. This was the greatest gift that the marketing gods could have ever gave me. I was just in it for the money, but I didn't realize you do that like 50 weeks in a row where you do 4 and 5 hour webinars. You get really good at handling objections because that's all you're doing at that point in time. You have no script. And sometimes you get bored of saying the same thing. I mean, there's only so many ways traditionally that you can handle a money objection. If somebody says this is too much, right? You can do all the standard closes that you read in old sales books and all that nonsense, right? But after a while, you're just like, let me spice things up. So you just start saying stuff just to see what will happen.
Just crazy stuff. Yeah.
And that's when the breakthroughs come in, right?
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing that kind of worked out? Like, do you remember a line?
Yeah. So Eric, I got so many of them. It's not even funny. But somebody says to me, this is too expensive, Jason. And I started saying, you're right. It is too expensive if you're the wrong person. And they're like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, if you're the right person, this is better than free. But if you're the wrong person, this thing is the most expensive thing you could ever buy in your life, right? Or somebody would say, it sounds too good to be true. I'd say, it sounds too good to be false. And they'd go, okay. I'm like, wow. It just, one of my favorites, I use it all the time. And it's so true. And what I found is every good objection, smashing an objection, because I don't want to handle them. We handle fine china, right, guys?
That's right.
We obliterate objections is what we do. We smash them. And I have found that the best smashing of objections is the deepest level of truth. And so a lot of people are afraid that they're going to buy something and then they're going to fail miserably at it. They think. But what I've discovered is they're actually more often than not afraid of success, not failure. So I have closed so many people when I says, is it failure that you're afraid of, or is it success? And this is what I'll say to them. No joke, guys. I've done this close many, many times. I'll say, you know what failure is like. Failure is very familiar to you. You know exactly what to expect when you fail. But success, you don't know what success is like. You've got no experience with success. You have no frame of reference. And that's scary because you have no idea what it's going to be like if you were to start succeeding. And they're like, boom, like hairs on necks start to raise on end because that hits them right across the eyes. Noticing again, we're not handling these objections. We're going right at them because I want to devastate the objection because that's what keeps my audience limited in their abilities, is their impoverished model of reality, as we like to call it. So I attack it. Like, I'll give you another really good one. It really helped a client once. He says, Jason, how can I be successful so I can make $10,000? And I said, how can you fail your way to $10,000? And this was in a seminar room. So I had the benefit of this the first time. I saw him. He went into a hypnotic trance. Like, he lost his train of thought and he was like,
you got him envisioning what that looks like now, and it seems like that's what each one of these closes are doing.
Here's the finer arts, the darker arts of persuasion, guys, is we tend to create belief patterns. So, I'll give you one. Your friend who can't get any women to go out on a date with him, right? And he's bald. And so he says, women don't like bald guys, right? And now he believes that stupid line. And even though a little bit of research, there's a lot of fat, old, bald guys that have hot, young supermodel women, right? Yep. I mean, I don't know how. Some of these guys are also broke too, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how, but clearly there's a limiting belief that is on that guy if he believes that to be true. And so oftentimes what'll happen is when you create a behavioral link to a belief, like if I do this, then this will happen, then you shut down. You don't go any further in that thought. You get stuck. You get trapped in your belief pattern. This is true for all of us. By the way, success belief patterns are the same way. If you believe something, you get stuck in success. So I found that's really powerful to put somebody into a success loop and get them stuck there. So they're just succeeding all the time, right? But this belief pattern, he had never thought beyond failing. No, can't you see how it's hard for him to move? I always envision it in this way in my mind, guys. It's like, success is beyond this big brick wall that's in front of me, but I can't think about the future because all I see is this big brick wall in front of me. So oftentimes, here's what I'll do with clients all the time. I'll say, now that this problem is solved, what are your 6 next problems that you're going to face? And they're like, wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that's great because we are taking it from the position of you've solved this problem. What's your next problem? I'm not saying your problems are going to be over with. I'm giving you a bigger problem to deal with, and that's going to make your existing problem look trivial. I'm giving you leverage on this internal state, which is getting you stuck right now. And I did learn this in a book, but a lot of this was fine-tuned in the field where real money was on the line. And if I said the right thing, I could help somebody and get paid. Or if I said the wrong thing, I wouldn't help somebody and both of us would be poorer as a result, It's
true.
And so I was able to discover some of these finer truths of how people form beliefs and then how those beliefs influence their behavior. And as a result, it really unlocked for me how to get somebody to look at their problem from a different perspective.